Hello, and welcome to Sermon Shorts, where we try to give you spirituality in 3 minutes or less. This week we're looking at how God can use us, even despite our limitations. We all have shortcomings, faults, weaknesses, things that we may consider to be a personal handicap. But no matter what it is, whether we think we're not smart enough or we don't make enough money, perhaps there's something wrong with our body that we think is holding us back, we shouldn't be using those things as excuses for accepting mediocrity in our life. You see, the good news is that God's calling isn't for perfect people. Even though we haven't always overcome or we haven't beaten temptations, God's still calling us to do good things. He's willing to work with us while we grow. We see this with the disciples. Jesus comes along and he doesn't go after the elite of Jerusalem. He's not after the richest, best looking, smartest people. In fact, he goes after very ordinary people, people like fishermen, tax collectors, but people who he knows can change the world. That's why he's calling us, because we can do good things that change other people's lives. But Jesus hadn't done this just for the first time with the disciples. God had been calling ordinary people for centuries. He called Abraham, even though Abraham thought he was too old. He called Jacob, even though he was a deceiver. Moses was a stutterer. David was an adulterer. Gideon was insecure. Jonah ran from God. Jeremiah said he was too young. Mary was a worrier. Thomas was a doubter. Paul was a murderer. Zacchaeus was short. And Lazarus, he was dead. So what's your excuse? Why is it that you think you can't do something great for God? If God can use all those kind of people who've done all those bad things, why can't he use you? The reality is, there's nothing you've done in your life that has disqualified you from doing great things. You just have to learn to see yourself the way God does. He sees you as a work in progress. The Bible even says that we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, as he prepared us in advance to do. So you may feel weak, but God says, take the strength you have and you will succeed. You may feel unprepared, and God says, well, you're equipped. I gave you what you need to win this battle. It doesn't take much. You've just got to start seeing yourself the way God does. Seeing yourself with all your good qualities. We all have good things in us, but too much of our time is spent focusing on the negative. We just got to say, hey, you know what? There's a lot right about me. And there's a lot right about you. And you can use those strengths that you have to do great things. Don't get focused on those limitations, because all they will is just pile on you, slow you down, make you feel bad. When God says, no. When you focus on your positives, you're in agreement with me. Your faith will be effective. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel happier. You'll be confident. And as you focus on your positives, you too will do great things, even despite your limitations. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.